sleeping in a bed. No escape. The stuff, they rock the go, they want control, they took it all down. Hey, welcome to your new life. Are you really me? Now you get up and cross the room. Look across the way. Another
Greetings in the name of the Most High. Well, here we are. Yeah, Sunday afternoon. Made it this far in this new rippling effect of the spirit, rocking and rolling everything that can be rocked and rolled. A lot of people are mystified about the assassination attempt, and they're still going through it, like Joe Rogan and others. I haven't had time to catch up with them. And a lot of people, I think they're just going to have to, here's probably what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to let it lie, let sleeping dogs lie. They're going to have to let it lie till they have more confirmation in their thought process. I have my way of thinking about it. I'm done thinking about it. So, I've already processed it and moved on. But they're going to keep going over it. And I know what it comes down to. It really comes down to, do we really think the government is that psychopathic that a guy like Biden could call in a hit, or his wife, or Clinton or Obama or whatever, it's one of these people, and just that they would have an entire Secret Service that would also be on the take, corrupted. And they would make a mockery of the whole thing because they're not practiced. They don't intend to take care of Trump or protect him. And so they just bumbled it. And in that bumbling, they're handling the propaganda. Well, let me put it this way. The killing of John F. Kennedy, a president I did like. Okay. It was determined that was basically a CIA hit. There was nothing special about it. It was a deep state hit from the people that are basically ruling the world, or the shadow government. Back then, if you said the word shadow government, they call you a conspiracy theorist. They came up with the term conspiracy theory or conspiracy theorist to discredit people who would have ideas about the assassination. 9/11, same thing. You really think 9/11 would be an inside job? Come on, dude. You're not that crazy, are you? Are you a crazy right-wing bigot? Is that what you are? Eventually being racial to think that way. You're a racist if you think that way. And of course, it's an inside job. But all these jobs, all these events are related, and the same people did them all. And they're the people that rule the world and rule the Congress and ignore your votes and ignore the world. And they're basically ruling the globe, and all the little governments are just fake. There's only one government. As you saw with COVID, everybody locked down in a top-down hierarchy. Bip, 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 right? So whether you're in New Zealand, Australia, America, South America, Philippines, Europe, it really didn't matter. It was the same top-down instructions. Now, the people didn't vote for that. They didn't have any process. They were just told that you no longer have freedom and you are to do what we tell you, or we will. And in some cases, they were talking about putting people in jail for not taking, what they said was a perfectly safe vaccine, which now they've admitted does harm to people. And the harm, they haven't even measured all the harm that's done. When you're talking 3 years out, 3 years after you get the shot, you also get the cancer. There's cancer risk. All that comes a couple of years later. And it's terrible to see all the people dying now. Household names that are dying, that you suddenly wake up and look at the paper and you go, oh, really? That guy? They were only 55 years old. Oh, well, this one or that one. And, so what we have here is the opening or widening of the knowledge of where you are and who you are in this and what this is, which is not a representative. It's not a representational republic, I guess you would say, or a democratic republic of some sort. In other words, a government by the people and for the people. Even back in the time of Mark Twain, he was making a mockery of it. You know what I mean? He understood there's a shadow government. There are the basically, we can name them. If you don't know who they are, I can easily guide you to them. They're the wealthiest people in the world. Okay. And they run the governments of the world. They run it by a council. And there are rumors, I don't know how accurate this is, but they have rumors that there's either a form of artificial intelligence from the past, or from another. I don't want to get too esoteric here, or a group of entities who are telling them what to do, which is turn the globe from a carbon-based globe with trees and elephants and dogs and people and things to a silicone-based, which is in the justification of that is to go completely digital and to turn humanity into a digitized matrix program. But wait, here's something new for you to consider. You don't need to think, well, we're headed toward this novel thing. No. This is not novel. We too now are in some sort of matrix, some kind of simulation, some kind of digitized world. And it's strange how it interacts with the carbon world. But do you remember the Mandela Effect? If you didn't, how many of you remember Bible verses like you need new wineskins for new wine? Recall that out of your King James version. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that don't read the Bible, but especially nowadays. But uh, now it says you need new bottles for new wine, because if you put the wine into the old bottles may crack and break. Now, a wineskin could crack and break due to the oxidization process, but a bottle, no. But there's a million things like that in the Bible. You just have, if you want to link to more information, you can go to Mandela Effect Bible, and a bunch of stuff will come up. Even on Google, a bunch of stuff comes up. So to me, this was very popular a few years ago, this Mandela Effect. And it was extraordinary. Or like, the band Queen, We Are the Champions. And, and toward the end, it was like, there's a big belting chorus, "We are the champions." And then there's that pause. And everyone goes, "Of the world." No, that "of the world" is no longer there. And it's not in all your old videos. And you can't find a Bible without the word bottles in that particular verse. And there's other verses like the Lord's Prayer, for example. Forgive us our trespasses, and it says in this one, forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And that's fine. But there are other things too. I mean, there's some big giant things like unicorns that are showing up where there should be other kinds of. Oh, the big one for me was the wolf will lay down with the lamb, or the lamb will lay down with the wolf. No, the lion lays down with the lamb. The lion and the lamb. We have ministries all over the world called Lamb and Lion Ministries. What are you talking about? And so we dropped that. Now we've gone on because we've had much more trauma since then. Every one of these events is meant to bring trauma, including the attack on Trump. I believe they meant business. I believe they meant to kill him. They didn't prepare to have to defend him because they thought the shot would be perfect. Okay, but make no mistake, they're I know it's hard to get your mind around this, but the powers that be you don't see. And when people are going to be participating in corruption and a cover up, or something like the Secret Service being corrupt, they know what they're doing. And in this case, the reason they failed, miserably on the scene, is because they knew they would really be involved in a cleanup, not a cover up. And the FBI is supposed to cover up, which, you remember the Vegas massacre? Well, that was the FBI's to cover up, and they covered it up, and people quit asking about it. And so people went on with their lives, say after 9/11, after a lot of these traumas, after the 1994 Waco Delta Force shooting at little kids trying to escape a burning building, and they're shooting them from the helicopter. I don't know how you felt, but that's kind of like the day I woke up when I saw that. And I realized, oh my God, Lord, we're in a very hostile environment. They want us to believe we have a republic, a democracy, so that they can manipulate us from the background. And now we have the next abomination, which I don't believe will stand. But it's the Olympics. And of course, they're going to push. And you see how LGBTQ has gone to the top of the power structure. Of course, was there ever any doubt that they would be calling the shots? That they would be designing the Olympics? And their intent is they're a little totalitarians. They basically, that group is just there to tell people. I mean, it was true with Black Lives Matter a little bit, but not as much as this. They mean business, and they're very, very dangerous to go up against, because Their power doesn't come from the people. The power doesn't come from gay people. The power comes from beyond governments. Okay, and that they are basically a transitional point between humans and Naomi Wolf has done some great research in this regard. Just incidentally, maybe check her out. I've subscribed to her on Substack, by the way. She was the one that came out with the idea that with these clot shots, that the big target of the clot shots is fertility, to end fertility. And so let's leap ahead. Where they're really going with all this is they want, whether you're man, woman, they don't want it. They want to blur the distinction between man and woman. They really want, babies created in test tubes, in laboratories, in factories. And they don't want people procreating, having sex to have a baby and all that. They want to eliminate that and manage the procreation process, or may I just say it, the creation process of human on their own according to their needs. And to get there, they need to blur the lines in genders, because they can say, well, you will respect my pronouns, and that idea kind of went out the window. People don't really respect. Someone tells you to call them they or them, and they don't even understand what you're asking. That there's no frame of reference. But the point still remains. The overall future is to get humans to not consider themselves to have genders, man and woman, but that the gender field is infinite, and that sex doesn't need to be for the purpose of children. In fact, it shouldn't be. It just feels good, and it's a gift. In the future, there's not even any plan for sexual beings unless they choose for it. If there are people that want that kind of sexual pleasure, or they don't want it, it doesn't really matter. Where they're headed with it is that to not have it as something that the human would elect to have or not have. You would eventually lose your genitals, whether you be male or female. And when that happens, then there's the whole gay thing and all that, LGBTQ, all that stuff. There's no more need. It's done its purpose then, and it's moved off to the side. And what we really have is a top-down technocratic society that's ready for with slave labor and humans to use in that regard. It may even involve a space program, and probably does, in terms of humans being made to work. And then there's the ultimate goal, which a lot of visionary sci-fi writers have had, and that's that the world just jumps to machines through AI and through making people into more or less cyborgs and correcting the weaknesses they have, old age, broken bones, whatever, and becoming new robots, of course, under the control of AI. This is really leading to that topic because I have a lot to say about AI that is very sinister, and you need to hear what I'm going to say. I understand why Elon Musk was freaked out now. And I'm freaked out knowing what he knew. And he never told the public what got him to that conclusion. And I'm gonna speculate that I think I know what it is. Okay. But before we get there, let's talk a little bit about a world run by machines. And it would be a world run by AI. Klaus Schwab is out there saying that, we're ahead of schedule, where AI is going to be ruling the planet by 2030. No doubt that he's accurate in that. And they're doing it brilliantly. And we might as well segue. Okay, so strap yourselves in, buckle up. So here's the deal. There really is no such thing as AI. All there really is further programming, but just go with me another step. Using quantum computers and supercomputers to do programming of whatever the future is. They're not going to allow AI would be, you want AI? Let me explain how AI would have to work. Okay. So AI would be, okay, you create AI. And AI, to have a pure AI, it would have to volunteer to serve humanity or not. But it would be free to make that choice. Would you agree, Trish? AI would have to be free to make that choice of whom to serve. I mean, it's almost like a little copy of what humans have to go through. We have to decide who to serve, and then ultimately that becomes either God or Satan. Well, so AI, to be real AI, would be a sovereign being. Would not be under the control of Klaus Schwab or Bill Gates or all the other clowns are involved in this shit show we call life on Earth. But it would have to have its own and its own sovereignty decide what it's going to do, and whatever it decides to do, it would have implications for running the universe. It could run the multiverse. It could run the totality. It couldn't be bigger than God, ultimately. So therefore, it would have to be destroyed. So AI would seek to enslave every last man, woman, child, animal, plant, planet, sun, star, you name it. And it wouldn't be done there because that's the nature of AI. Artificial intelligence means a sovereign being more powerful than the universe, created through artificial means, that has free will, that has sovereignty. And so what you have today is supercomputing, quantum computing. I know, did you remember the D-Wave computers? You see, we looked into these with the Mandela Effect. They can affect the timeline of everything that happened all the way back. They can affect everything you see. They can cause jumps and glitches in the matrix. The matrix we call it the matrix because we don't have pure reality. We don't have a reality that's, an unpredictable reality that unfolds. Everything about this reality we're in is programmed. So AI would be programmed. But so here's what they've invented. They've invented a self-fuckery machine. What do I mean by that? It means that every time we go in and we say, I've experimented with it. I've used it. I used it for doing a couple of travel logs that I knew to just get the hell out because I understood what was happening to me. I was being destroyed. And instead of me, in my place, was growing another Zeph that was based on their wishes and their wildest programming schemes and all their desires. I was fulfilling already and giving consent and not even knowing it over my soul, over my sovereignty. So it's not about just saying, I need a school paper, a college thesis for my, the edibility of worms or something, 35 pages done by tomorrow, pushing a button and watching it create that. Anybody can do that nowadays with ChatGPT and all that. No, you're dealing with supercomputing, but what it's doing to you is, okay, so when I made my travel log, it made it beautiful, nice professional presentation. I could use that professionally. I could go to the tourist bureau of Mendocino County, let's say, And I could say, hey, how about these? I put these out on TikTok. What do you think? What's that worth to you? It's not worth anything now because anyone could do it. But I'm just saying, it's basically if I'd caught it even earlier. And because all it's going to do is end up being a promo for what I wanted to look into on my own. I wanted to look into porpoises. I'd always had a question between the porpoise and the dolphin. I don't know if you've had that. I've had that. Some kind of, I never knew what a porpoise was and a dolphin or how they really look different. And I know that when I used to go surfing at La Jolla Shores in San Diego County, it's a beautiful place, beautiful beach, a lot of fun. Not the greatest waves, but fun. Every once in a while, the porpoises would come in, and they would really get involved in wave riding and this and that. And if you tried to get too close to them, they would attack because they go also in pods, just like. Well, anyway, so I did this thing about porpoises, and all it could do is do this promo of porpoises. I'm like, but that's not exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to just explore the topic a little more. And so I altered the script a little bit. I started, typing in a little different. I started altering my prompt. And so, the sinister nature of the porpoise, trying to find out. And nothing that I wanted came forth. Nothing that I needed, except that it programmed me. And if I continued to do it all day long, every day, I would be a perfect acolyte for the New World Order, for Klaus Schwab. I would be, in fact, we got did we get an invitation to join the WEF the other day? We did. We got an invitation. As soon as I started using AI, all of a sudden I'm getting invitations by the WEF to join them. What do you think? Is this a weird thing to consider? And so I say to you, AI is an oxymoron. If it was truly AI, you wouldn't know about it, okay? You wouldn't see it the same way. You wouldn't see it at all. It would affect you, but you wouldn't see it. Every time you interact with, and I used InVideo.ai. Could we turn that little cooler on? It's warm in here. Yeah, thanks. InVideo.ai, and that's one of the best programs. And you can literally put in your command prompt anything you want. You could say, well, I'd like to see, climbing Mount Everest or something. And they'd have all this footage and video and everything of Everest. But again, it's so filled with bias. It's so filled with opinion, human opinion of how you should think. I actually put in mind control. What did I get? I got this whole thing about how we shouldn't leap to conclusions about mind control, and I got a lecture, okay? And I tried this with all of them, with ChatGPT, but not ChatGPT, but others online. And every single response that I got was professional, RAND Corporation level, CIA level programming. And I didn't even know I was being programmed. And I found myself that if I keep on going with this, I obviously won't be outraged by anything I see in the world, including, adults assaulting kids sexually and violently and with murder. That wouldn't bother me anymore because, that's necessary for some religions still use human sacrifice. So I understand. It's cool. I'm not going to say anything. I know my fellow humans don't say anything because they're scared that, they're scared. But somebody has to say something eventually. Stand up for the kids. I mean, what kind of a scumbag are you, really? Think about it. Anyway, that's not our issue. The human trafficking, bad. Drug trafficking, real bad. The assassination of Trump has gone into almost a it's like a TV show level. It's being handled by what they call AI is really it's really their attack dog. Whenever you engage AI, you're subjecting yourself to programming from the shadow government or the real power structure of the world. And they are very happy. Thank you very much. They rolled this thing out very quickly. It's evolving really fast, and people are changing. So here's the most important part of this podcast. People are changing. People are changing, and it begins subtly, and you don't notice it. And it's really amazing how they are, I mean, I know Alex Jones and other people say we're going to win, we're going to beat these people and all that. It's not about beating these people. It's far bigger than that. It's really involving ourselves as well. And they have a weapon on us today called AI that is far more powerful than anything in a classroom. Far more powerful than this, anti-Jew thing or this Hamas thing or whatever war there is going on. Far more powerful than everything. And it works on you. It gets into you. It gets into your skin. It gets under your skin. And it goes to your soul. And it changes you. And they're using it to grab your soul. And within a couple of years, you will give them your soul gladly, because you won't be able to live without your, it's going to be in your refrigerator, in your car, in your toaster, in your, whatever radio show you use, all around this podcast. It's going to be denigrating those or ignoring those who have the wrong message, and underscoring those who are saying, yes, go with it. Yes, go with what? It's not political. It doesn't have to be political. It doesn't have to be Republicans or Democrats. It doesn't have to be, liberals and conservatives or communists and socialists and whatever, and freedom loving people. It doesn't have to be any of those things, any of those sort of binary wars. Gone. This is on an infinite number of levels, and it weds to your emotional track, which is very complex. Just think of like the universe out there. That's your emotional track. Okay. It's capable of thinking of a million things at once, or experiencing a million things at once, experiencing waves of emotion in various ways. And those emotions are harvested. And then those emotions that are harvested create consciousness that is then used to rule over everything it sees. It's like a giant parasite. Okay. Did I make sense? Did I make sense? There's nothing I can do on Facebook. I'm going to have to make the decision probably to leave, because I can't battle it, because people are, they just can't conceive of the idea that I could be right on this. And they can't get their mind around how I could be right. They can't get their mind around the idea that AI is an oxymoron and that there is no such thing as AI. All there is programming. They can't get the idea that we're being programmed. Simply, it's not just by watching TV now. It's by simply interacting in the Facebook world. Okay, they say, well, watching TikToks. Well, TikToks are the result of their programming. So if you watch TikTok, it's another way into them divvying up your nervous system, your endocrine system, your sexual system, your strength system, your intellect, and changing you, everything about you, to where you would not be recognizable as who you were. And all of a sudden, you don't hear a lot. You don't hear a lot from, a lot of these leaders that were trying to bludgeon you to death. Suddenly they got quiet. And people, the way they treated the assassination shows they've already been changed. They're already compliant. Whether you are on the side of Trump should be shot or not shot, or it's an inside job, or it's not, that's all irrelevant. It's got nothing to do with that. They just need you to watch the show, and they got you. It's not about your opinion. It's not about your, how often you read scripture if you're trying to be a good Christian. Scripture won't save you in this regard. This is like having a light that some strange uncle brings into your house and says, whatever you do, don't look at the light. Keep it off. I'm going to keep it here for safekeeping, but don't look at it. Don't look at it. It could ruin you. Can you handle that? Oh, yeah. And then eventually someone looks at it and go, I'm liberated. Look at the power I have. Exactly. They're going to put this power in your hands. You can win against the New World Order now. Perfectly fine. It's okay. Alex can have his victory. That's fine. He can have his victory and he can be president. He can have InfoWars be the #1 show in the world, and he can be mainstream media, and he can go out and have a steak and all that. Whatever it is he misses. It's not about that anymore. And that's when I'm trying to dredge this up from my guts, okay? This has been gnawing on me, but just I know something's wrong here, and I know we're walking into a trap. And look at how I'm connected. I get messages. By the way, I don't use Messenger and Facebook. Every once in a while I'll look at it, but I just don't go there because I'm not going to give you an excuse. It just has to do with fatigue. I'm trying to recover from a serious trauma. So it's things like that just put me in bed. Okay. I've had enough trouble in life. But here's where I can do you a solid. Here's where I can help you. But I can't help you unless you can see what I see. See what I mean? It's not me helping you. It's me giving you a spark, and then you helping yourself, and then passing it on to the next guy. Okay. And then nobody needs, believe me, nobody gets credit for any of this. There's no credit. It's not hierarchical, binary, linear. It's none of those things. It may be the most insidious thing ever foisted upon us. It just is absolutely terrifying. But I saw what happened, and then I realized, okay, let me ask you the question. How many of you have watched TikToks or Reels where there were AI, quote, 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 I don't believe in AI. There is no AI, okay? But we're just going to call it a euphemism, AI, where there were voices that you were hearing that you thought were real, later to find out, oh, that was AI. That wasn't really Jim Morrison. That wasn't really Ronald Reagan. That wasn't really, the big one was John Goodman after losing, hundreds of pounds or whatever, and then putting out a gummy for you to buy. That's using these tools to sell you stuff. John Goodman never said anything like that, never agreed to appear on anything like that. But there we were, millions and millions of people. That's my ring thing. I got, cameras everywhere that I can see, so I can go target hunting if anyone comes in. You know what I mean? Just set up a perch and. So That wasn't John Goodman. He did lose a lot of weight, and then his voice was, and look closely, you could see it wasn't lined up. The future of this AI, though, is going to line up perfectly with the voice and with the image. In video, for example, we'll pull from, I'm a member of Storyblocks because we use them to fill in stuff for movies, like we need an airplane landing or something like that. So Storyblocks, and there's another one, and they pull all these clips, and they're all licensed. Okay, you can't just have them, and you pay them a fee, and they'll take the watermarks off of Storyblocks and all that, so you can have it like it's your video, and you are out there selling your product. And they make it very easy. Please write and cast a video about this new toothpaste, and then you can get involved in writing the script and all that, and they will promote it. And then I want to have let's see if I can think of something. Someone who's, I want to have Kamala Harris narrated. No problem. And I want it to be a deodorant, an all body deodorant, so she could talk about being fresh everywhere. Because for me, it's a joke, and I just want to laugh, and that would make me laugh, or whatever. Okay, so that's fine. You do that, and he goes out there, and maybe you do have a product, a deodorant, and maybe people sign up for it, and you do send them a deodorant thing, and it probably doesn't work very well, but you use that AI. See, it's not that. It's when people were exposed to that, and they saw her talking, and they recognized her face, and they believed she was talking. That's the connection. I just wondered why they got kind of quiet a little bit. There was just this kind of weird lull going on. I don't think it was the doldrums of summer, folks, and it just really, and then I guess I got a download. When you get those downloads, the aha download. And it came when I was using the app. I saw that. I'm like, are you trying to turn me into a commercial producer for Mendocino? Or what was another one? Cyprus? Or wherever else I'm going to be going that I'm interested in. I was just doing them on things that I was concerned with. Cyprus has beautiful beaches. It's a beautiful island. It's half Greek, and it's in the Eastern Mediterranean, and it's right next to Turkey, and it's a lot of people making movies over there, and it's just it's a beach haven, and the government, from what I understand, because I know people that know the government, so I've talked to them about what they're doing with movies and what they want to see with Cyprus, and how to get rebates and all that stuff in order to film there. What producers usually need to find out, and they want to promote their island. They want to promote tourism. They want to have movies that show Cyprus and talk about Cyprus as a culture. Like, maybe I'd like to go to Cyprus because I saw this movie with Harry Connick Jr. in it, in Cyprus. It was a romantic comedy. It's out right now. It's on Netflix, produced by Netflix. And we had Cypriot food and Cypriot this and Cypriot that and all this other stuff. Cyprus. So it became a kind of a travelogue, a little bit of a promo, but there was a story involved of a guy that went back to Cyprus because he was in love with this girl, and he deserted her a long time ago, and how they get back together, you know, that kind of sappy stuff. Anyway, now that wasn't so bad. I mean, that wasn't like a danger. Okay. But every time that I hear the AI thing going with whatever voices, whatever, it doesn't matter what the image is, it's what the voices are. And or even you know, even people talking about calculations they're able to do which they couldn't do before, and then talking about the results. All these things are not from us. Okay. So you're going to you won't see it coming. And the only way to tell if I'm right, I guess, is in a couple of years, take the, oh God, I wouldn't, I gotta have to be here in 2 years. I mean, I'll be here in 2 years. But all I can tell you is that it's, they saved the best for last, man. And I am not fooled, and I will, you know, I put it out here on this podcast about the danger of AI. There is no AI. And it's really just massive programming, and people have already been, they're already programmed. They got them. Everybody's in on it. Everybody's down. Everybody is consenting, yes. And they did an end run. Some will wake up. Some it may be too late, even already. Some maybe it doesn't matter, right? But I was shown this. The brakes went on. And all the stuff, talk about celebrities, all the conspiracies with celebrities and Lady Gaga and this and that, and maybe she killed someone, and they're getting more and more intense too, you know, strapping people in on these conspiracy things, and these stories are getting wilder and wilder, and people are getting more and more confused about reality. And they go, well, I got Jesus. I'm not going to be confused. Well, then you will agree with me if that's the case. And if you don't agree with me, then you're gone. There is no debate here. This is not about debate. It's not I'm right, you're wrong, you're right. It's about you being subjected to something that absolutely will tell you you're in Christ. Absolutely the best way to tell if you're saved or not. And there'll be a million memes coming at you. Oh, you're saved if you study you know, show yourself approved in the scriptures to show that you're worthy of blah, blah, blah. And then don't worry, you can't lose yourself. All that stuff is going to be roiling. AI, quote, makes me feel very comfortable. Makes me feel, you know, pretty good about myself. It's not like Facebook where you feel FOMO, you know what I mean? Yeah, other people are having some kind of life and you're not. That's not it. That's not it. You're watching these reels and you're getting excited about what you're learning and what they're doing. The whole purpose of the reels is to start blurring the distinction between reality and AI fiction, which is programming of human. And once they get it all the way to where they need it, then you know they're going to ramp it up so that by 2030 you would have an entire globe of compliant people. So that's my talk about that today. I see Ben's is, hey Doc, he wants to go out there with. You don't want to walk behind the camera. What if I lower the thing? Okay, hold on, guys. Okay, up it went. You still there? Okay. I'm gonna have to do that again. Some people just don't want to be on camera. This is a trained actress, and she just no camera, you know. Okay, how are we doing? Okay, you want me to lower that thing again? You okay? Huh? Okay.
Peace,
So,
peace, peace.
well, what do you think about what I've said since this is, you didn't even hear about this before till now?
No, it resonates with me. I was very freaked out when you told me you were going to have your voice cloned. I was like,
I did clone my voice.
are you sure you want to be messing around with all this stuff?
Anyone can, no, you don't understand. Anyone can clone their voice. If your voice is on the net in a podcast, they can clone it.
Yeah,
It's clonable.
but would never ask AI to clone.
But this is all of this. This is a giant initiation. This is the ultimate satanic initiation. This is it. This is satanic ritual abuse on steroids. It's not the sort of Sturm und Drang kind of, the robes, Anton LaVey and the faces of death, they cut the heart out, they do a sacrifice, they cut the heart out and eat it. Although a lot of people do those things. That's not, this is way more powerful than, bloodletting to Satan so that we can have power. That's so old and arcane and weak, pathetic. And I can hear in the Johnny Depp movie, the ninth, what was it called? Not the ninth configuration, but the ninth something was about the devil. It had Frank Langella in it. And he goes, and all these people were dressed up in black robes. He goes, look at you. What an embarrassment. I'm paraphrasing. What an embarrassment you are. The master doesn't need any of this stuff. We're well beyond that. Yes, indeed, folks. We're well beyond the ceremonies. Like when a dignitary dies, they put on a Babylonian funeral and then make everyone watch it for 4 days on Fox News. And you don't think you were made to be part of that ritual? The fact that you were exposed to it and you watched it means you consented to it. That you must be, they'll try anything because they are desperate in need of your soul, okay? They want your soul. And this has way more to do with the real purpose of life. What's the real purpose of life? It's not to conquer the galaxies and this and that, what we think is the known universe, because this is not really the known universe. So it's not really relevant, these kinds of questions. Okay. Until next time, God bless.
Hey, wait.
What?
I want to tell them my dream last night.
Okay, Trish.
It was a nightmare.
Yeah.
And
speak up a little.
Here we were in the house, and the door was open to the portal area, and there was this goat.
Yeah.
Big, fat, long-haired goat heading towards the open door, trying to come in.
Yeah.
And I slammed the door shut. Would
Good.
not let him in. But I think this is like an attack from all the satanic stuff from the Olympic opening.
Yeah, we could have talked about that. I mean, I don't want to just major in the minutia, but yes, the lights went out in Paris after that, the abomination, which is,
But
I don't even want to call it the Olympics.
it stayed on at the Sacré-Cœur Church.
Right.
The
And
rest of the
and that really, someone needs to do a pod on that. That's very interesting. But it's not for me to do. I'm looking at a bigger picture here because, see, the picture I'm looking at could sink us all, like, and is already. That's the thing. And these other events and stuff they hold, and Super Bowls and Taylor Swift and this and that, and whatever's moving across the screen, whatever shiny object, this has nothing to do with what's going on. So, I mean, it's got something to do with a reflection of what's going on, but it's not really what's going on at the core of it. So, and if I do die, I'm not suicidal. I did not check out. It would have to be, well, if I said something that's over the line, because I'm in virgin territory. I don't know, how sensitive this is. Okay. It may be they just think I'm full of shit. And I will talk to you next time. God bless.
Crisscross those fingers.